Hello, good evening, and good morning to all our viewers, students, and whoever is watching this video all around the world. This is Devanjan Kundu once again from Easy Science Solutions family, and today I'm gonna give a very brief concept about simple and facilitated diffusion. So, firstly, what is diffusion? Diffusion is basically movement of gaseous or liquid particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. What exactly higher concentration means? Higher concentration basically means where that particular molecule that will be diffused is present at a higher concentration, is present more to a region where those particular molecules that are being diffused is present in a lower concentration or is present in lower amount. So when any kind of water molecules or any kind of liquid molecules or gaseous molecules, remember the state, gaseous or liquid molecules will move from the region of higher concentration to lower concentration, it is called simple diffusion. So simple diffusion, by the way, is also governed by what we call Fick's law of diffusion. And Fick's law of diffusion states J is equal to minus D del C by del X. You can all see the formula written over here. J equals to minus D del C by del X, where J represents the flux. The minus sign basically represents the direction of the movement. D is what you called diffusion constant. Del C is the change in the concentration. Del X is the change in the distance or the distance moved by the particles being diffused. Now, is diffusion always occurring without any assistance? The answer is no. Sometimes the movement of liquid particles chiefly also occur by what we call assistance from carrier proteins or channel proteins present in a particular membrane. For example, glucose transport. Glucose transport within the cell also occurs via sodium channels, assistance of sodium channels. And what are sodium channels? Sodium channels are basically sodium ion channels that is very specific for sodium ions. Now, facilitated diffusion, this is called facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion is basically movement of molecules, that is basically liquid molecules, from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration via the help of carrier proteins or channel proteins. Channel proteins are further divided into three kinds of channel proteins, that is ion channels, ligand-gated channels, or voltage-gated channels. The other thing that we must remember about facilitated diffusion is very, very specific in nature. So when I say that glucose is transported via GLUT transporters, G-L-U-T, GLUT transporters, that is glucose transporters, we basically mean that GLUT protein is basically a carrier protein. It is a carrier protein which basically helps in uptake of glucose by the particular cells. And this is very specific. GLUT transport proteins will not accept any other molecule other than glucose, even if it is a hexose like fructose. No, it won't. So GLUT transport proteins are very specific for glucose. And facilitated diffusion, there is one more thing that is very interesting about facilitated diffusion, and that is it has what we call saturation point. Since we have come to know that facilitated diffusion is done by carrier proteins or channel proteins, there is always a possibility where all the carrier proteins and the channel proteins will be filled with the molecules that is being diffused. And when all the carrier proteins or the channel proteins are completely occupied by the molecules that are being diffused, they will not diffuse any other molecules, and this will lead to a point where there will be no further diffusion taking place, because there is no free molecules to diffuse the particular molecule, no carrier proteins free to diffuse the particular molecules. This leads to a very interesting graphical representation of facilitated diffusion and simple diffusion. This is a graph where the y-axis is what we call the rate of transport. The x-axis represents the volume of solute. The linear graph is representing what we call simple diffusion, and the graph that is sigmoidal in shape represents your facilated diffusion. This region where the graph has reached a plateau, this place is where the facilated diffusion has reached its maximum rate, and all the carrier proteins are occupied with the molecules. So this means that there will not be any more diffusion taking place. So this was more or less a little intro about what is simple and what is facilitated diffusion. If you like this video and if you want more of such videos, please like this video, subscribe, share, and comment below so that we can always improve on what to represent you guys. Thanks a lot for viewing. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe, share, and like. Good night.